Hi everyone, my name is Daisy Munoz, and this is my speech on understanding and conquering procrastination. Have you ever told yourself, I'm going to start early this time, and somehow still end up pulling an all-nighter the night before the assignment is due? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. According to the American Psychological Association, nearly 95% of college students say they procrastinate on a regular basis. And I'll be honest, I'm one of them. But here's the thing, procrastination doesn't just affect our health, it also affects our sleep and grades. That's why I wanted to dig into this topic, because if we can understand why we procrastinate, we can learn how to stop. Procrastination stems from predictable emotional and mental habits. But the good news is that psychology gives us tools to overcome it. I've personally dealt with this in my own academic life, and I've researched the speech using expert articles, academic journals, and strategies from psychologists who study procrastination. So today I'll be explaining 1. What procrastination really is, how common it is, 2. Why our brains are so tempted to delay things, and finally, what we can actually do to stop procrastinating. Let's start by understanding what procrastination really is. Psychologist Piers Steele defines it as the voluntary delay of an intended act despite knowing it'll likely result in negative consequences. That means we're not just lazy, we're actively choosing to avoid something we know is important. The American Psychological Association also found that more than half of adults say procrastination reduces their quality of life. And in students, it's linked to lower grades, more stress, and poor sleep. Steele's research even shows that people who procrastinate regularly tend to have higher anxiety, lower income, and more health problems. So it's not just an annoying habit, it's a pattern that can seriously hold us back. But if we know it's bad for us, why do we keep doing it? That brings us to what's happening inside our minds when we procrastinate. One of the main reasons we procrastinate is actually to manage our emotions. Psychologists Fuchsia Sorois and Timothy Pitchell explain that we often delay tasks because they bring up emotional and uncomfortable feelings, like anxiety, fear, and boredom. We don't like how it feels, so we put it off to feel better in the moment. This is called short-term mood repair, and it actually rewards us emotionally. But the more we do it, the more we reinforce the habit of delay. Another reason is what researchers call present bias. According to Steele, our brains tend to favor immediate comfort over future benefits, even when we know we're making things harder for ourselves later. Some of us are more likely to procrastinate because of personality traits like perfectionism, impulsivity, or low self confidence. So now that we understand what causes procrastination, let's look at some practical ways to fight back based on real research. The good news is that psychology gives us real strategies that work. First, one of the most effective techniques is self-compassion. Research shows that students who forgave themselves for procrastinating were less likely to procrastinate in the future. Instead of beating yourself up, give yourself a reset. Second, breaking tasks into small, doable steps helps make them feel less overwhelming. Dr. Timothy Pitchell recommends focusing on just the next action, not the whole project. Using timers, checklists, or even apps that block distractions can also help keep you on track. In an article from Harvard Business Review, expert Charlotte Lieberman recommends using commitment devices to help build accountability and reduce temptation. And finally, one of the most powerful tools is called implementation intention. That's just a fancy term for making a specific plan. Like, if it's 4 p.m., then I'll start outlining my paper. Lieberman says that this technique can nearly double the chances you'll follow through. Alrighty, so let's recap. Procrastination is incredibly common and can seriously affect our well being. Second, it's driven by emotional habits and mental shortcuts like present bias. And third, there are proven strategies like self compassion, small steps, and even if then planning that can help us break the cycle. Procrastination stems from predictable emotional and cognitive processes, but research backed self regulation strategies can help us act on our goals instead of delaying them. So, the next time you find yourself putting off a task, try one small action, just one step. Your future self will thank you for starting today instead of putting it off for tomorrow. Thank you.